Yo, welcome guys to 5 things we learned about Manchester United versus Newcastle. Number one, that was a very tough game. I really enjoyed the game because the game had a lot of dynamics to it. We saw very strong high press, and that's what Amorim is all about. High presses, winning turnovers in very critical positions, especially outside the box of the opposition team, and very strong dwells in the midfield, and with your defenders pushing really high up the field. We saw very strong commitments by very different players. We saw Maguire making tackles up as close as the midfield line exactly. We saw Martinez win tackles just outside the box of Liverpool's box. We saw those kinds of things, and it's very interesting to see how much belief Amorim was able to put in the players just before the Newcastle game, just with 2 training sessions before the Newcastle game. I would like to show some respect to Amorim after a very critical position by me on this channel. Amorim didn't give me the impression that he was inspiring the players properly, and I can be wrong. I could be wrong. I think Amorim has done a very good job in the very short period of time he's been here, even though the results have not been going his way. But it's not easy to build anything with the results also going your way. So I'll give him some slack. But also, it's important for a manager to get the right results. Number 2, Tobi and Ugarte. I think Amorim is trying to build a partnership between Tobi and Ugarte, and using them as the what they call it, let me say the backbone of this team. And Kobe's creativity and ball handling skills in the middle of the field, and Ugarte's aggression and work ethic is going to help the team going forward. And if we can try to build on that, bring in the right players as their substitutes, to prevent injuries, so they don't have to play multiple games all at once, it will really help that partnership going forward. Number 3, Bruno Fernandes, Captain Fantastic. He's really put himself on a new pedestal at the moment, because we can see that with adequate rest, Bruno can produce a lot of things for us. Adequate rest. The issue we've had with Bruno is that Bruno has to play every game. He plays every game in, game out, FA Cup, Carling Cup, Europa League. He doesn't get any rest. So what are we looking for right now? We're looking for a player who can step up for Bruno when Bruno deserves some rest. So I don't know what Amorim's plan is for Bruno, but Amorim needs to search and scout the right kind of player for that kind of level of creativity we're looking for. It might require a lot of money, and that means we have to offload a lot of players. But let's see. Number 4, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has been the bottom of almost every joke in the United fan base and outside United fan base. Harry has really tried his best to pull himself out of it. But I personally have been very critical of Harry Maguire, because Harry has this tendency of getting lost in the game mentally. And what do I mean by getting lost? Well, I'm not a professional footballer, but I also play football. Whenever I see players who take so much time to decide what to do, I assume it's a sign that they are struggling with the speed of the game. That's my personal assumption. Does that mean that Harry Maguire is too slow for the Premier League? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that to play for Manchester United, you need to be at least 2-3 steps ahead of every other player on the field to play for Manchester United, at least. Because where does the edge come from if you are playing just as slowly as the opposition team? There's no edge. So you have to have the speed of thought, and you have to have the skill and ability to express that speed of thought. And that has been my issue with Harry Maguire. He doesn't have to commit a blunder for us to think, oh, he had a good game. No, that's not the point. The point is, how do you affect the game as a defender? We saw this with Rio, when Rio was still playing. I remember so many pre-assists Rio had because it took the gamble and pushed the ball into the midfield as at the right time and exploited space, exploited opportunities in the midfield, exploited the weaknesses of the opposition team without them paying attention to it. It's important that with this three at the back defense we have, it's important that our defenders actually take responsibility of the playmaking. Without the defenders committing to playmaking, we can't really edge out teams. We will just be a team that has 3 defenders. We have to use the defenders as our first playmaking option. Number 5, the last opportunity of Harry Maguire. That's why it's taking this long for me to make this video. I've had to analyze that moment so many times. And one thing I've come to realize is that football is a game of chances. Some chances go your way, some chances don't go your way. That chance didn't go our way. In a different, alternate universe, Harry Maguire adjusts his body fast enough to shoot the ball. I don't really see how, because he doesn't have the technique to pull off that kind of finish. He doesn't have the technique. Was there a possibility for him to control the ball? It's a very tight one, because he also needs to have the technique to control the ball in that level of tight space and then push it out of feet to hit the ball properly. So it's like asking for too much from him in a short space, if you consider the distance between Harry Maguire and the nearest defender. I've had like a few exchanges and arguments about who should have attempted the shot. Is it Xerxes or Maguire? And I say it's still based on chance. The pass Bruno gave Xerxes was from behind Xerxes. And you don't control the ball while running to the ball and deciding what to do with the ball without actually looking up. I actually admire Xerxes for actually realizing Maguire was just at that position. Because with a pass coming from one side and a player you want to give the ball to coming from the other side, or the goalpost on the other side, it might be a very, very tough ask to make up your mind quick enough to shoot or to pass. And he made up his mind, which was to pass. And that you can't fault him for. Some people think he should have shot. Some people think the pass was bubbly or bouncy. Bro, this is professional football. The pass comes out, it comes. You don't expect a ground pass every time. It doesn't work like that. This is professional football. Passes come at different angles, at different velocities. It's up to the professional footballer to adjust his body, and that is what they have practiced for all their life. With that being said, I think Amorim is actually on track to get the best out of the players he has. Well, at least the ones who are going to stay. Those who are not going to stay, that are going to leave, will be discussed in my next video about the transfers. I believe Ugarte is going to be a key player for Amorim going forward, and the team will be built around Ugarte, not as a creative player, but as the strength of the team. This team will be, and Ugarte's strength will be used as the barometer of the quality of players and the strength of players we are bringing in henceforth. Thank you for watching.